A new study conducted by the Institute for Women's Policy Research indicates that American women won't see equal pay until 2058.
Here we have the legendary study itself, conducted by the Institute for Women's Policy Research, led by Jeff. Yes. And here he is. Not only does he wear glasses, but he also has master's and PhD degrees in sociology. Plus, he got a bachelor's in sociology and religious studies, making him an almost ideal candidate for statistical analysis. If only he also minored in gender studies, he would be absolutely perfect. He probably took 1, maybe even 2 statistics courses while getting all of his degrees. I just can't wait to see how amazing this statistical study is going to be that people somehow actually use and cite as a credible source.
For more, we're joined by senior women's issues correspondent Kristen Shaw. Kristen! Kristen?
Yeah?
This news I've just relayed, it seems bleak.
Now, let's finally take a look at the brilliantly analyzed study that they're all talking about.
This is incredible news. Tonight we're gonna party like it's 2058. Drinks on me! Can I borrow your credit card? Because I'm not gonna get pay equality for a while.
Clearly, society is oppressing this woman.
Society makes it easier for men to go into higher paying jobs and supports them more when they get them.
This statement is so incredibly vague and unclear that I actually have no idea what the heck she's talking about. Which is exactly why she has no need to provide any examples of society somehow helping men get higher paying jobs for no reason. It is just simply the case.
Why?
Because. So then all we have to do is provide women better childcare options, educational opportunities, change all the messaging in media and entertainment. I mean, how complicated really could this be?
All we need to do is give strong, independent women that don't need no man special treatment and revolve our entire society around giving them more money. We need to start giving them free childcare. We need to start giving them better educational opportunities, even though they're outperforming men in school. We need to just give them more educational opportunities. And we also need to change how our entire society thinks. The fact that we pay sewage workers that work more hours than babysitters is absolutely ridiculous.
10 years from now, he will be able to print an entire human heart.
You're telling me we're going to print a human heart before women get pay equality?
No, I'm telling you, we're going to print human hearts out of Xerox machines 30 years before women get pay equality.
Here is the amazing analysis once again that even a first-week high school statistics student would definitely not know is completely incorrect. Extrapolating this line out is obviously the correct statistical methodology because a guy with a doctorate in sociology and religious studies told us so. And if that isn't enough for you, there are many other progressive scholars out there that have absolutely no statistical background whatsoever that could confirm this statistical methodology to be true, like David Pakman, for example.
By current projections, if nothing is done to counteract the inequality that is the gender pay gap in the U.S., it will last until the year 2058. This would mean that 2 entire generations of women who haven't even been born yet would be subjected to unequal pay.
And now that we have confirmation from 2 people that have no statistical background, that we should extrapolate this line even further. So I took this same graph, this same line, and continued it forever and ever, because this is clearly a good assumption to make. We see our data points, which are the black circles that line the line. And then the line continues on till we get to the green circle, which is the year 2058, the almighty equality year, the most perfect time in human history, where women on average will make the same as men on average, but then we are quickly disappointed, because the line continues on from there, until we get to the pink X in the year 2115, when the roles of the gender pay gap will be reversed, and men will make 79% of what women earn, and they'll be systematically oppressed based on their gender. We need to stop and think about solutions to solve this horrific injustice. Here's a statistical analysis an actual statistician would never in a million years do. Number one, not assume everything is a linear trend and just blindly plot a regression line and call it a day like a high school student. A statistician might actually notice the pay gap seems to follow a curved trend where it is pretty flat from 1960 to 1980, but then it starts taking off right about into the year 2000 where it starts to flatline. Then, if you wanted to predict future years' pay gap, one would estimate it to stay around 80%, with also cautioning about extrapolating beyond the data because circumstances can easily change over time, leading to the pay disparity between men and women to either go up or down. A great example of this change in circumstances, and a possible explanation for this rapid rise in women's pay from 1980 to 2000, is that women actually started working. Yes, it could be the case that the more you work, the more you will get paid. We see here, this should be 1980. From 1980 to 1985, the participation in the women's workforce soared, so they started making that paper. Then, the trend started to flatline, because we live in a wonderful country where many women actually have the option of choosing careers that earn lower, but give them better life fulfillment. They can work less hours, even take time out of the workforce to raise a family, leading to earning less pay on average. Women also don't even need to do the dangerous jobs if they don't want to, but those jobs will actually lead to men making more money because nobody wants to do them, and you need to incentivize people to do them or nobody would. Only a completely idiotic statistician would say any of those things that I just mentioned.
At this point, we'd be better off printing a 3D penis, slapping it on the bank counter, and saying, "Hey, society, you pay me."
When society speaks back to you, he'll probably tell you that women on average will never make the same as men on average. 2058 will come and go, and women will still not have pay parity. But he'll give you some advice on if you want to make as much as a man. Work longer hours, don't take as much time out of the workforce to start a family, and actually start doing some of the most dangerous jobs that right now only men do. If you're not willing to do those things, I suggest that you take that 3D printed penis and go fuck yourself with it.